fast and fresh. My name is Fran and I'm a volunteer from the Richmond Neighbourhood Centre. Today we're going to be doing individual meat pies. Nice on a nice cold night. I've got the meat here. I've already chopped my onion and I've got my wok ready to go. So I'll put a slurp of olive oil in there and I'll put this onion in and a little bit more and let that sizzle away. So I've got that one sizzling away. While that's sizzling, I'll put my meat in at the same time. It doesn't matter too much because they've all got to brown off together. These are nicely coated now in the olive oil, and I'll start putting my meat in. This will take a few minutes to do, so we're putting this in. We're going to put in some herbs and some garlic, and the whole lot will fry up together. And then we've got our meat pies on the go. So there goes the garlic. That's just 1 clove of finely chopped garlic. And I've got 2 teaspoons of just your basic mixed herbs. Hear that sizzling away nicely. Break up your meat so you don't end up with meatballs. That's the worst thing that could happen. So it's all got to be nicely separated, browning off. And that's probably going to take about 5 minutes. So we just keep stirring that. Okay, so I need to be cooking away for about 5 minutes. Got the herbs in there, the garlic. Now we're going to add a little bit of chicken stock, 2 teaspoons of chicken stock. Just throw that in. A slug of with some sauce. So it's about a tablespoon. It just gives a little bit of seasoning. You can use tomato sauce, whatever you like. And to that, we're going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste. Whack that in, give it a bit of a stir around, and I'm going to let that simmer away a little bit. While I'm doing that, I'm going to start putting the pastry into these mutton tins. I'll just make sure this is mixed well and truly. Turn it down a little bit. It has to be nice and tender. Probably if I put this water in, there we go. All right, now that is going to simmer away. On my pastry sheet, now we're using little muffin tins. We're doing individual ones. So just like that. I need a knife to cut these into 4. So out of each sheet, I will get 4. So I'll do 1.5 sheets of the base. So just cut it into 4 squares. Like that. Now this is, all right, so there's our muffin tin. Away. Kind of go like that. Look at that old game, that old game. Just put all your 4 corners in together like that. Skim down in there like that. And work your way around. Just press your way around so all the sides are pressed in. And you can leave your little corners sticking up. So we're going to do that. And so let's see about it. Next one, like that. Now I'm not going to waste your time by making you watch me do all of these, but you get the gist of what's happening. We're going to come back in a few minutes. I'll have these filled and the meat will be ready to go in. Okay, we're back. So this is simmered away nicely, reduced down a little bit. What we need to do is thicken it up a little bit now. You don't want a little grainy in the pie. What I'm using is probably just about 1/3 of a cup of water, and to that I'll add a dessert, maybe a heaped dessert spoon of corn flour. Mix it into a paste, and just make sure that your pan's nice and hot. And we'll add this to the pan then and thicken it up. You don't want it too runny. Nothing worse than having a pie that goes all down the front of you. So there she is. I'm just going to add a little bit of this. Now I've added about half of it. Looking good. I'll probably add. I reckon we'll probably end up needing all of that in there. So that was about a third of a cup with a heap dessert spoon of corn flour. So that, and that's all there is to it now. Stir it in, make sure it's all thickened up nicely. It might be a good time now before you throw it into your pie to check the seasoning. So a bit of pepper. I don't think I'll need any more salt because I did put chicken stock in there, and that does make it nice. So I'm going to put a pinch of pepper, just a ground pepper in there. Here is a point where if you wanted to put a little curry powder in, and some nice curry pies, or I throw whatever you like in there, but you can really put your own stamp on the recipe at this stage. So that's it. We're going to turn it off now. It's good to go. Here I've done, as I was showing you earlier, I've done the bases of the parts of pies. So put them, they're ready to go. And I'm going to use a metal spoon, I'll put that over there. And I'm going to put some into each of the pie. Now don't fill it too much because when it's cooking away in the oven, it's all kind of going to spew over the top. So you don't want that. So probably, I'll show you. Hang on, here we go. About that much. Just that much, looking good. There we go. Doesn't take long to do that. Once these are done, out of the 3 sheets of puff pastry, we've used half of them in here, and the other half I've cut into another 6 squares, and they will be our bits. So I'm going to use half of this mix. So that's pretty good. I reckon you could get 12 pies out of this if you want to. Or savoury mince on toast. There you go, tomorrow morning. Go. Okay, so for the next thing, I'm going to beat up an egg. What I want to do is just put a little bit of stickiness around the sides of the pastry there. So when you put the lids on, it's going to stick. So let's mix that up. And I'll grab a pastry brush. Try not to, when you put the pastry lid onto the pastry, try not to get it down the sides because then it's obviously going to stick inside the center as well. So you're just doing a little bit of a dab around the edges with your pastry brush. The house paper. Just do a little bit of a dab, just some of the glue. The glue that's going to stick out easily. So now our oven's nice and hot, ready to go as well. I'll show you something. Okay, here we go. Oh, sorry. Got the top. You're going to put the top on, and this is where you pull your little corners up and you kind of crunch it all around. You crunch it down. I'll show you one done. I'll do 2. And then I'll do the rest and come back to you. So see how I've done that? That's all scrunched down. If you've got it hanging over the side of the tray or over the edges, you won't be able to get a knife around to loosen it up to get it out. So what you've got to do is make sure it's all scrunched down. I'll do another one and then I'm going to leave you alone for a couple of minutes. So you just scrunch them down, kind of roll it all in. Doesn't matter if it's sticking up a little bit, that gives it a bit of character. Scrunch it all down. Here we go. And that. Alrighty. So I'll continue on this end. We're going to get back to you and show you the final dressing of it. Okay, so we're back again. Now I have put the pastry on. You can see what they're like. They're all kind of just scrunched up. Plenty of room to get a knife around when they come out of the oven. And you'll be able to lift them out quite easily. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just put a nice egg wash on there. We've beaten up an egg here that we used around the edges. We'll finish off using that just on the front. Once again, try not to splash it all over your tray because if you do that, everything's going to dust. Just Nice little egg wash there. And I'm going to have a bit of fun. Press a couple of them up and you can do that as well. We've done this before. You can make the shape of a V or something. If you're doing different pies, put a V on the top of them. But I'm just going to put a little flower on the top. Make them look pretty. I won't do them all because I didn't put that much aside. I'm just going to roll this little one up, and that's going to be the little bud of the flower. Just like that. It's going to sit in the middle. I've made some little flower shapes like that. I'm also going to put some little, probably can't see this, but I'll just put it and I'll show it to you. I'll just mark some little things on it, lift him up. That's going to be our leaf. Okay? So he'll sit on there like that. And maybe, jumped off. Go. Sit him back on like that. And one more. Don't you? Flower, so we just put the line down there and do the little burn marks. That's the leaf that I say. The little bud, just roll it up in a ball. Then fan him out a little bit, and there's the bud. He goes in the middle. And we'll use just a little bit of a little stem. So there's our stem, just like that. And put it on there. Won't do them all. So that's what they're going to look like. We'll put a little bit more of the egg wash on them so they come up nice and golden. And the next thing you do is whack them in the oven. So there you go. We've got our meat pies which go in the oven, probably about 25 minutes I'd say. And we'll pull them out and have a look at them after that.